Holy City Center Radio is episode 206, and I am your host, Christian Sanger. Today is Friday, December 22nd, 2023. You can almost hear those jingle bells. Christmas is just a few days away, and since this may possibly be the last episode before the holiday, I want to make sure to say Merry Christmas to all of you that celebrate. For those who don't, happy holidays. I hope you enjoy whatever holiday you may be celebrating, have celebrated, whether it's Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, none of the above. Regardless, I hope you have had a nice month. And have been able to spend some time with friends, family, both, whatever it is that makes you happy. I hope you've been able to do that. With that said, looking forward to returning home. I'm flying out very soon to get back to Connecticut to see my parents, as well as my brother and sister-in-law and their kids, my niece and nephew. Looking very, very much forward to that trip. I know I was just there for Thanksgiving. But I don't mind making quick trips, and seeing the family. If I could do it every month, I definitely would. It's great to be home. And it's always a little extra special to be home during the holidays. It has that nice mix of remembering some of the great times in the past with, family members who are still here and those, unfortunately, that are not. But it always reminds me of, those people that I've lost, and it's special to remember them and all the great times we spent at grandparents' house with aunts and uncles and cousins and everything else. And then also, not just thinking back to the past, but enjoying the present and how special it is to celebrate with my niece and nephew. It's just every time you go through those cycles, you have the kid cycle where you're that excited, crazy, just so, oh my God, we're getting presents and, whatever, kids think during those times. I remember my brother and I planning out like, okay, because we could never sleep. And I'd wake up something ridiculously early, and he usually did too. So we'd be scheming for weeks, like, all right, we don't want to wake up mom and dad and let them know we were snooping around looking at what Santa may have left under the tree. We make these ridiculous little schemes and plans and stuff. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. So, you have that time frame, and then, you get a little older, and, just when maybe not that Christmas or the holidays gets old or anything, but, when you're looking for that extra spark, the family's getting a little older, bam, baby niece and nephew show up, and, and then some of my cousins that I grew up with are having kids, and it just makes it special for, different reasons, being able to see them and how excited they are and how special it is. So I hope you all, whatever stage of life you are in, I hope you have a great holiday again if you celebrate Christmas. If not, like I said, I hope whatever you do celebrate, if anything, is just as magical for you all. But enough about that. And like I said, this may be the last episode before Christmas, because obviously normally shows come out on Monday. And although I record the episode the day before it comes out, that's obviously Christmas Eve. And we'll be, although I'll be in Connecticut at that point, who knows what plans will be. I also know my great producer, Lindsay, has her family and probably has plans. So who knows when exactly the next episode will come out. I'm aiming to still have episodes next week and should have at least one or two, if not all three. So if you want to make sure you don't miss the latest episode, be sure to subscribe to this podcast. Whatever platform you're listening on, you can subscribe, whether it's Spotify, Apple, Google, YouTube, whatever it is, you can subscribe. And then the next episode, when it does come out, will automatically download. Otherwise, you can pay attention to the website, holycitycenter.com, or any social media accounts I have, as I always post on there when new episodes come out. Also, if you're looking for plans, whether on the holiday itself, some people like to go out to eat on Christmas Day, especially those who may not be celebrating the holiday, or just looking for things to do, whether you celebrate or not, or if it's Christmas Day or not, go to holycitycenter.com. You can see all the different events that are happening right now in town, whether they are holiday themed or not. All sorts of things will still be going on. You can click on the events tab at the top of the website to go to those specific listings and see everything that's coming up. And with that, let's get into the news. The year ending and New Year's Day signaling the start of a brand new year. There's always changes that go along with those, and some of those involve politics. So here locally, we had our last city council meeting of the year, and that is the last meeting for a few folks that serve on that council, including Charleston Mayor John Tecklenburg. He took the lead this past Tuesday at City Council at the weekly City Council meeting, and it was his last time heading up the meeting during his 8-year tenure. As you are all probably well aware, he lost his last re-election bid to now Mayor-elect William Cogswell, so he'll be taking the reins in January. And so after 8 years, Mayor Tecklenburg, although he's not out of office yet, this was his last city council meeting. And he said at that meeting, quote, "Serving as mayor of Charleston has really been the honor of a lifetime. Every day I've been able to wake up and go to work with the goal of making our hometown an even better place," end quote. Just like any politicians, people have varying opinions of Mayor Tecklenburg. I'm sure a lot of people can point to some things that they think he did well. Maybe they can point to some things they don't think he did so well or didn't get enough accomplished in certain areas. But every politician accomplishes something, of course. And regardless of what you feel, there's been a lot of things that Mayor Tecklenburg has done for our city. This includes helping implement or get started over 30 drainage projects. Hundreds of new affordable housing units have been built during his tenure, and also the budgets for our police and fire departments have increased while he was mayor. So again, you may even have varying opinions on those projects and the affordable housing, and could these things be better, or should he have done a different thing? But as I said, he has accomplished things for our city and put in work. And so we appreciate, well, I say we, but I appreciate what the mayor has done, and I look forward to see what Mayor Cogswell will do here in the future. Obviously, it's a city I love, and regardless of who the mayor is, I want them to succeed and do well so the city will thrive. And although there may be things that Mayor Tecklenburg did that you didn't like, or even myself included, there's some things I wasn't necessarily a fan of or thought could have been done better. I certainly appreciate him working to make Charleston a better place. I truly believe that he had the interests of most people in mind and had good intentions with a lot of things. And so I certainly appreciate his efforts during his tenure, and wishing the best for him and whatever he ends up doing. And again, wishing the best for our upcoming mayor as well, so Charleston can succeed and continue to be a place that I love. And even though we can love a place and think there's a lot that needs to be done, I'm hopeful we can get plenty accomplished. Now, it wasn't just Mayor Tecklenburg. Two other folks who I appreciate their efforts during their tenure. Again, people who I think truly wanted to do what was best for the city and its people. That include these are both councilmen, Peter Shade and Jason Saccharin, the latter of which has been on Holy City Center Radio a couple times in the past, which I always appreciated him coming on to talk about projects and shine some light and details on things that maybe were misunderstood by the community or that we had questions about. So they were both recognized for their leadership in what was also their final council meeting. Councilman Shade was in the running to become the next mayor of Charleston, but ultimately lost that race, and then it went to the runoff with Cogswell and Tecklenburg. Meanwhile, Councilman Saccharin was not eligible for re-election due to a new redistricting plan that moved his district, which is District 3, over to Johns Island. When asked what was next for them, Councilman Shade said he will continue to practice law with his son and plans to stay engaged with the next administration to ensure that the Sumar Street project gets completed. As for Councilman Saccharin, he said he will focus on his family as well as his day job and his restaurants that he owns or has partnerships with here in the Charleston area. He did say if another opportunity presents itself in the future, he may consider it. This is from an article by News 2. I'm assuming what they were alluding to there was like political related opportunities, whether it's council or something else. So you may see him in the future running for some kind of office. And meanwhile, At the end or during this meeting, rather, council also voted in favor of naming the new Hope Center that's in the works after Mayor Tecklenburg. So a nice, going away a present of sorts for the mayor with having something named after him. So again, regardless of what you think of any of those three men, I appreciate what they've done for the city and putting in the effort and the work. And again, truly believing that they wanted to do what was best for the city and help it succeed in the future. Meanwhile, elsewhere in the state, we've got a Murdaugh update, as will probably be the case for well into next year as well. Gene Toal, the retired former Chief Justice of the South Carolina Supreme Court, has been assigned to preside over the Murdaugh murders case as convicted killer Alex Murdaugh awaits his hearing on a potential retrial. Justice Toal, who is 80 years old, will replace Judge Clifton Newman as the presiding judge overseeing all court proceedings related to the Murdaugh murders case. This is pursuant to an order that was issued on Monday by Donald Beatty, the current South Carolina Supreme Court Chief Justice. Judge Newman, who is 72 years old, will retire from the bench at the end of this year, and he had previously requested to be relieved of his assignment on the Murdaugh murders case. And now this, as you may remember, we've talked about it before, there is some measure of controversy after Alec Murdaugh's lawyers have claimed there is jury tampering that may have affected the outcome of the trial. So there's going to be a hearing where they'll determine if a new trial is warranted. And if it is, whether this hearing will be presided over by Justice Toal, as will any possible, if a retrial is determined is needed, she will also oversee that. Now, there was no allegations against Newman when it comes to the jury tampering. This is about that clerk of court that we've mentioned a few times on this podcast. But because after Murdaugh was found guilty, Newman had made some comments to the press and in the court about how he felt Alec was guilty, and some other remarks that made it seem like if this goes to retrial, it might not be appropriate for him to serve on it. Again, he didn't do anything wrong, but that was the thinking, and Judge Newman ultimately agreed and had been asked to be relieved of any future cases. And so that's what will happen there. So going forward, as I said, Justice Toal will oversee that potential retrial hearing whenever that is officially added to the books, and we'll certainly keep you posted. So that will do it for this edition of Holy City Sinner Radio. Definitely the last episode before Christmas, although perhaps you will hear from me again on Christmas Day. Lucky for you, but perhaps later in the week. Again, just subscribe to the podcast on whatever platform you're listening on, and it'll download when it is ready. Otherwise, check the socials and the website, and you'll know when the next episode is ready to go. So again, I hope you have a amazing, fun, safe, and happy Christmas if you celebrate. Again, if not, I hope you have a great weekend. Whatever you do or do not celebrate, I hope you have a great time. I really appreciate you all for listening to this podcast, subscribing, leaving me feedback and sharing things that I post, whether it's on social media, on the website. Your support means a lot. It's been another amazing year here at Holy City Center and Holy City Center Radio. And looking forward to 2024. But we will have some episodes before the end of the year, but it's tough to not, when it gets to Thanksgiving and Christmas, it's tough not to reflect on this past year as you're getting towards the end of it. And it's that season of feeling grateful and happy for the things you do have. So I appreciate you all so much. I also appreciate Lindsay Marie Collins with LMC Sound System, who is forced to listen to this show because she is the producer of each and every episode. Hopefully she would listen anyway, but she doesn't have a choice in the matter. And so I greatly appreciate the work she does. I also appreciate Tyler Boone, who has allowed me to use his music in each and every episode. Have a great weekend. Have an amazing holiday. Stay safe out there. Have fun. Wishing you the best. Until the next episode, good night and good luck.